In recent weeks, as we've been working through these Lambda custom functions, a consistent question has come up. How can we make these available for all of our workbooks? And the answer is, you can't. You need your workbook to calculate no matter who sees it. Therefore, that custom function has to exist in that workbook. However, what we're going to look at today is how we can build a custom ribbon and use some VBA code so that we can create a library for our custom functions and we can easily insert them into any workbook. So if you're ready, let's get started. If you don't have a personal macro workbook, the first thing we need to do is create it. In the ribbon, click View, and then on the right-hand side, click on the drop-down for the Macros option. Then click Record Macro. It doesn't matter what this macro is called, all that matters is that it will be saved in the personal macro workbook. So make sure that's selected and then click OK. Now we just want to undertake some actions, any actions. I'll type Excel is amazing into cell C4, then I'll press delete to delete that text. When we come back to the macro button and click on the drop down, we need to click stop recording. This has created a macro, but also it has created our personal macro workbook. To view the code in that workbook, we can press Alt and F11. On the left, you can see we have a workbook called personal.xlsb. This is your personal macro workbook. If we expand that workbook and then expand the modules, that is the code that we created by performing those actions. Now we don't need any of that, so we can press Ctrl A to select all the code and then press delete. All the VBA code that we need for this example is available inside a text file. And if you look in the descriptions box below, you can see instructions as to how you get that code. All I'm going to do is to select all of that, copy it, and then paste it into our Module 1 window. This contains 5 macros. The first one adds a Lambda function that already exists to your personal macro workbook. The second macro takes the custom function that's saved in your personal macro workbook and adds it to the active workbook. The third macro enables you to delete a custom function from your personal workbook library. The fourth macro enables you to add all of your custom functions at the same time into a workbook. And then finally, we have a macro that will list all of the custom functions in your personal library. That's all the code we need. So let's press Alt and F11 to get back to Excel. Next, we want to create our own custom ribbon so that we can easily access these macros. To do that, right-click on any spare place on the ribbon and then click Customize the ribbon. Let's suggest that we want to add our Custom Functions tab after the Formulas tab. So I will select Formulas and then click New Tab. Now, New Tab isn't a great name, so I will select that and then click Rename, and let's call this Custom Functions. Then I can click OK. Within our tab, we have a group that's called New Group. That's not a great name either, so I will select that and click Rename. We can add an icon for this. Currently, this icon won't be displayed anywhere, so we will ignore that, but we will rename our group to Library. Then I'll click OK. Next, we want to add our 5 macros. In the Choose Commands From dropdown, we want to select Macros. This now displays all the macros that we have available to us, and we can see all of the macros contained in our personal macro workbook. I'll select the first one and click Add, and then I'll add all of those other macros. Now again, these don't have great names, so I will select the first one and click Rename. The name we're going to give this is Save to Library, and this time we are going to add an icon. I'm going to select the Save icon, and then I'll click OK. Right, let's go and rename and add icons for all of our other buttons. Now I've changed all of those icons and renamed them. Let's make sure that they are in a sensible order. We have Save to Library, then we probably want Delete from Library, so I will select that and move it up. Next we have Insert Function, Insert All Functions and List All Functions, so the rest of those appear to be in a sensible order. Now I can click OK. That creates our Custom Functions tab, and we can see those 5 icons. I already have a workbook open that contains 4 custom functions. So if I click Formulas and then Name Manager, we can see the names of those functions. There's DDL, DDL Sorter, XXLOOKUP and SuperXLOOKUP. What we want to do is to add these into our personal macro workbook. To do that, in our Custom Functions tab, we can click the Save to Library icon. Then we just need to provide the name for the function that we want to add to our personal macro workbook. I'll enter DDL and then click OK. That's now added that function to our function library. Let's click List All Functions, and there we can see DDL exists in our library. Let's go ahead and add another function. I'll click the Save to Library icon, and the function we want to add is DDL Sorter. Then I'll click OK, and once again, when we list all those functions, we can see that that exists in our personal macro workbook. Let's go ahead and add our other functions. So I'll click Save to Library. We're going to add the Super XLOOKUP function. Then I'll click Save to Library again, and let's add the Double XLOOKUP function. Now when we list those, you can see all of those exist in our workbook. Now what happens if we create a new Excel workbook? This workbook does not contain any of our custom functions. If we go to Formulas and Name Manager, you can see that we don't have any of those functions. However, if we go to our Custom Functions tab, click Insert Function, and then say that we want to insert the DDL function, and then click OK, that's now added that function from our personal workbook into our current workbook. So if we go to Formulas and Name Manager, we can see that DDL now exists. If we go back to our Custom Functions and click Insert All Functions, now when we look in the Name Manager, you can see that all of those functions that were previously saved in our personal macro workbook are now available in this workbook. Now let's suggest that we no longer wanted our Double XLOOKUP function saved in our library. We click the Delete from Library icon, and the function we want to delete is Double XLOOKUP, and then we can click OK. And when we list all of our functions which are in the library, Double XLOOKUP no longer exists. It hasn't been removed from all the workbooks in which you placed Double XLOOKUP, but it has been removed from your library of custom functions. And that's it. That's how we can build a simple tool to manage our custom function library. If you like this video, why not subscribe and get notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. And then once you've done that, if you want more Excel goodness, that's the video that you want to watch next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.